Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and in today's video, I'm answering the question, what are the three categories of brain injury cases, and how do insurance companies value them and evaluate them? Okay, so we'll start with the least serious. The least serious, this is a viewer question, and I'm getting, more and more questions on brain injury cases, so I thought I would shoot a quick video for you guys explaining it. The one thing about brain injuries is, people, they're called TBIs, or traumatic brain injuries. And what a lot of people don't realize is a concussion is a traumatic brain injury, and concussions often go completely undiagnosed. So a lot of times, you'll report it at the emergency room, you'll report it to your family doctor, you'll report it to a follow-up doctor in a clinic, and because they're not trained to do it, they don't know what they're looking at. They're like, oh, well, headaches are normal. Oh, well, your vision's a little blurry. Okay. Well, they'll write down the symptoms, but they won't give you the diagnosis, which, is unfortunate. So the first category of traumatic brain injury is exactly what I just described. It's minor, it's temporary, the symptoms go away after a few days to a few weeks, okay? The symptoms include headaches, it includes blurry vision and nausea, and then in those cases, they go undiagnosed, the symptoms go away, maybe they've done a CT scan to your head or an x-ray and it doesn't show any bleeding inside the brain or any swelling in the brain, right? Now those are concussions and they're serious injuries, and there's actually literature out there saying that once you receive a concussion like this, it does permanent damage to your brain. It does permanent damage to your ability to withstand another blow to the head or another insult or trauma or injury to your brain. So it's a real injury. The problem is, in order to prove that injury, first of all, insurance companies do not value it unless, when you're attempting to settle the case, most injury cases settle, something close to 90% of injury cases in my office settle, because we do, I think, the best job I've ever seen. I worked at a couple of law firms, I think 3 or 4 law firms, before I started my own law firm, and I saw what was being sent out as demand letters at those places. Not very impressive. But at any rate, insurance companies, if you have a notation of concussion, they want to add very little value to it. And just like in every case, if it resolves, if the symptoms resolve, they don't care. They don't care. They don't want to add very much value to it. They're like, well, it went away. The only way to prove something like that, and here's the challenge on a smaller case where the symptoms go away, for certain, statistically, somebody who is a brain injury doctor is going to be able to tell you, yes, this person, even with temporary symptoms, has permanent consequences, but it costs thousands of dollars to hire an expert like that. And, on a smaller injury case where you have no actual symptoms, not too many lawyers want to spend thousands of dollars on an expert to write a report that you may or may not in the future have a slightly increased risk of a worse concussion if you get into another car accident or you get hit in the head, right? The second category is cases where you're actually diagnosed with a TBI and you've got serious problems. And then the third category is profound problems, right? In the intermediate middle category, you have things like personality change, brain fog, inability to focus. I represented a young man like that last year, and I was able to settle his case once his symptoms were clarified, and once we got him into a doctor to verify it was a TBI. And then the most serious injury cases are somebody who's, literally their eggs are pretty scrambled, right? Where they're no longer functional, brain death, or complete personality change, emotional changes. With a serious blow to the head, you can become a severe risk taker, and it can completely change your personality and ruin your life. It can prevent you, let's say you had a technical job or you were a doctor before, it can knock you out of the profession. You can have chronic headaches, vision problems that are permanent, that basically make you unemployable and make it a nightmare for your family to be around. So all the way up to killing you, or paralyzing you and turning you into a person who can't function. So the smaller traumatic brain injuries, it's important to get a doctor who actually will document the injury, and that's true with the intermediate ones. For intermediate phase injuries, I definitely want a doctor who does a full workup, gives us a report that gives us an indication of what the future holds. And then the more serious ones, there's already a neurologist and a brain injury doctor involved, and it usually involves talking to them, taking their deposition, and then maybe hiring an expert if the treating doctor doesn't know or will not explain the permanent consequences of the traumatic brain injury. So what are the values of a traumatic brain injury? In the smallest category, it's going to add $500 to maybe $2,000 to your settlement. If it's very temporary, there's no documentation of any permanence. Now, in the intermediate phase, you're looking at adding anywhere from $5,000 to perhaps $500,000, depending on how severe your permanent life change is due to the traumatic brain injury. Now, in the most serious category, where somebody is killed or paralyzed, or they become a completely different person, either due to risk-taking, personality change, or cognitive impairment or other impairments that make it impossible for them to work, it's partially going to depend on what they make. If you've got somebody who's a doctor who makes $1 million a year and they still have 25 years to work, then you're talking about a base of $25 million, not including the human losses, right? So when you have a brain injury like that, it is, in my opinion, you're talking 7 figures or in the millions. And now, how do insurance companies value them? Well, like in any injury, they're going to start as low as they can, and it is your attorney's job to make sure the doctors are going to have your back, or have your loved one's back who has the traumatic brain injury, and go out and find the best experts, retain them, and make sure that they are going to explain things in a way that an insurance adjuster and a judge and a jury are going to understand. Because if they don't, if they try to rely on the injury itself, you're leaving money on the table. So anyway, I hope that information helps you. If you or anyone you know has a traumatic brain injury, a concussion, or any kind of injury case, whether it be a work injury, car crash, dog bite, bar fight, you name it, give me a call anytime, night or day, 312-500-4500. That's 312-500-4500. I have 2 great tools on my website to use in case you're not ready to talk to a lawyer. One is called the Case Cash Calculator. The other is called the Good Case Calculator. They tell you whether you might have a good case or a case with some challenges. Or the Case Cash Calculator tells you what the case value might be, all without talking to a lawyer, for free, in 20 seconds flat. You literally answer 7 multiple choice questions off the top of your head. 10 or 20 seconds later, you have custom answers to your particular situation, all for free without talking to a lawyer. Links in the description. If you enjoy the videos, please like and subscribe. If you have a question, you can leave it in the comments section and I'll shoot a video on your topic. Finally, if you enjoy the videos and the information I provide, or the tools I provide, or if you're a current former client, or you've ever gotten a consultation from me, then please consider giving me a 5-star review on Google. It's a very competitive market. All you do is go to the link in the description, takes you right to the page, click 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit, And before you know it, you're done, and you've done me a favor that I will always appreciate and never forget. So if you don't mind doing that, I'd appreciate it. If you know anybody who needs a lawyer and they've been injured, please send them my way, 312-500-4500. Hope you and the family are well. If I can do anything for you, please give me a holler. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.